Hello children, nice to see you all back. We were in the lesson, the model millionaire. You recall? Went through the text and here we go children, and today we shall continue the lesson. You enjoyed reading last class? Yes, we continue. Let's see what happened. Did they both marry? Who is it? Yui and Lara, right? Yes, and here we go. I welcome all my 8th standard students to this class, and you are all aware this is first language English. Okay, and children, I want you all to read a small story. Here it goes. Shall I read it to you? Listen carefully. A frog decided to reach the top of a tree. All the frogs shouted, "It's impossible! It's impossible!" Still the frog reached the top. They all shouted, "It's impossible!" But how did the frog reach the top? You can see the frog here. Because he was deaf. And what did he think? He thought everyone was encouraging him to reach the top. And what do you learn from this story? Exactly. Be deaf to negative thoughts if your aim is to reach your goal. I hope you all follow. And children, before we go to the lesson, I want you all to open your assignment book. Your textbook is ready, right? You have done the assignment. Take out your assignment book. There were a few questions given in the previous class. Here it goes. The first one, choose the correct alternative, right? And the question is, which of the following is not a characteristic of Yui Erskine's face? There was a list given. And what is the right answer, children? Correct. Check, and if it is wrong, please make a correction. Brown hairs. And the next question is, which of the following works Yui Erskine did not try to earn his living from? The list was there. The right answer is correct. Work as a professional jester. The next question. Where was the beggar man placed in the study of Alan Trevor when he was being painted? Where was he placed? Yes, you are right. In the corner, right? In the corner of the room. And the next question. Which of the following is not an attribute of Alan Trevor's face? Read out. The correct answer is the rough exterior. Right. And the next question, write the answers of the following questions in 2 or 3 sentences. Shall we look at the question? Yui Erskine remained poor. What professions he adopted but could not succeed? Have you listed out? He worked in a stock exchange for 6 months, later as a tea merchant, and he also started selling sherry. Next question, children. Describe the appearance of the beggar man as he stood in the studio of Alan Trevor. How did he look? He was an old man, bent and wrinkled, with a piteous look on his face. Have you written? And the next one is, over his shoulder, he had a ragged brown coat, which was torn and dirty. His thick boots were patched, and it was well worn as well. And in one hand he held a rough stick, on the other hand he held a hat. He held a hat out for money. Yes, children? And match the following related to compound words. Shall I give you the answer? Will you cross check it? Here it goes. The first one is grandmother. Next, newspaper, milestone, bookmark, tiebreaker, footpath. Have you all done it right? Very good. A big round of applause for you all. Children, make corrections if you have gone wrong. And shall we start with the lesson? And here we go with the lesson. But before going to the lesson, we will have a look into the glossary words. Some of the new words which you come across in the lesson. The first one is suit. Yes, you have seen your father or your brother-in-law, etc. wearing this suit on the occasion of functions or marriages, right? And the next one is splendid. What does splendid mean? Magnificent, very impressive. And ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ? ಭವ್ಯವಾದ. Okay? ಹಾಗಾದರೆ you have a sentence for the word. Sheila was seen wearing a splendid and regal outfit. Look at her attire. Looks splendid, is it not? And the next word is duffer. It's used informally, right? To scold someone. Okay. And what does it exactly mean? An incompetent or a stupid person. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ? ದಡ್ಡ, right? And look at the sentence here. His father had gone to stay with some old duffer who wanted to talk only politics with him, right? And the next one is apology. Do we apologize? When we make some mistake. And what does apology mean? A regretful acknowledgement of an offense or failure. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ? ಕ್ಷಮೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸಾರಿ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. That means apology. ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕ್ಷಮಿಸ್ಬಿಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. Is it not? And you have a sentence. You should make an apology to her for your carelessness. And now we go to the lesson. The lesson, model millionaire. We will continue. Open page number 46 from the 22nd paragraph. Open your textbook, children, and here it goes. Listen.
That night, he went to the Palette Club at about 11 o'clock and found Trevor having a drink by himself. Well, Alan, did you get the picture finished all right? He asked as he lit a cigarette. Finished in frame, my boy, answered Trevor, and you might like to know that the old model you saw likes you very much. I had to tell him all about you, who you are, where you live, how much you earn, what you are going to do in the future. My dear Alan, cried Hughie, I shall probably find him at home waiting for me. But of course, you are only joking. Poor old thing. I wish I could do something for him. I think it's dreadful anyone should be so miserable. I have got heaps of old clothes at home. Do you think he would like any of them? Why, his rags were falling to bits. But he looks so wonderful in them, said Trevor. I wouldn't paint him in a good suit for anything. However, I will tell him of your offer. And now, tell me, how's Laura? The old model was quite interested in her. You don't mean to say you talked to him about her too, cried Hughie. Certainly I did. He knows all about the Colonel, the lovely Laura, and the 10,000 pounds. The surprise! You told that old beggar all about me? Cried Hughie, looking very red and angry. My dear boy, said Trevor, smiling, that old beggar, as you call him, is one of the richest men in Europe. He could buy all London tomorrow and never miss the money. He has a house in every capital city, eats of gold plates, and can prevent Russia going to war when he chooses. What on earth do you mean? Cried Hughie. What I say, said Trevor. The old man you saw today was Baron Hausberg. He is a great friend of mine, buys all my pictures and that sort of thing. He asked me a month ago to paint him as a beggar, and since he's paying, well, I could not refuse. And I must say, I think he made a splendid model. Baron Hausberg? Cried Hughie. Good heavens! I gave him a sovereign. Gave him a sovereign? Shouted Trevor, and he burst into a roar of laughter. I think you might have told me, Alan, said Hughie crossly. and not let me make such a fool of myself. Well, to begin with, Hughie, said Trevor, I did not think that you went around giving away your money in that way. And really, when you came in, I didn't know if Hausberg would like his name mentioned. What a duffer he must think me, said Hughie. Not at all. He was very happy after you left. He kept laughing to himself and rubbing his old hands together. I couldn't understand why he was so interested in you at the time, but I see it all now. He'll invest your sovereign for you, Hughie, and pay you the interest every 6 months. He will also have a good story to tell his friends after dinner. Hughie walked home feeling very unhappy and leaving Trevor laughing loudly. The messenger. The next morning, as he was eating his breakfast, his servant brought him a card on which was written, Mr. Kautsim-Naudin, messenger of Baron Hausberg. I suppose he has come for an apology, said Hughie to himself, and he told the servant to show the visitor in. An old gentleman with gold spectacles and grey hair came into the room and said with a French accent, Do I have the honor of speaking to Mr. Erskine? Hughie bowed. I have come from Baron Hausberg, he continued. The Baron? I ask, sir, that you will offer him my sincerest apologies, cried Hughie. The Baron, said the old man with a smile, has asked me to bring you this letter, and he held out a sealed envelope. On the outside was written, a wedding present to Hughie Erskine and Laura Merton from an old beggar, and inside was a cheque for £10,000. The wedding. When they were married, Alan Trevor was the best man, and the Baron made a speech at the wedding breakfast. Millionaire models, remarked Alan, are rare enough, but model millionairies are rarer still.
Hope you all understood, children. You like the lesson? You like the ending? See, what does Hughie get? He only had given a sovereign to the beggar, but in turn he got £10,000. You enjoyed? Happy? And now let's recall the lesson. Shall we start? Here. Choose the right option to complete these sentences. Hughie was in love with a girl but could not marry her. Why? Here are the choices. The girl did not love him. The girl's father did not like him. His mother did not like the girl. The girl's father put a condition. What is the condition? That Hughie must have £10,000 to marry his daughter. Correct. Guessing it rightly. The last option is correct. The girl's father put a condition that Hughie must have £10,000 if he has to marry his daughter Laura. Who was the father? The colonel. You are right. And children, the next one. Read the question. Hughie gave money to the model because why? He had lot of money to spare. He wanted to pay the model for his work. He had little money but felt that the beggar needed it more. He wanted to impress his artist friend. Which is the right answer? Correct. He had little money, but what did he feel? The beggar needed that the most than he did. Is it not? So he spares him a sovereign. And you have to answer these questions. Read the question, children. Why was Hughie first angry and then highly embarrassed after he met Alan that night? Why was he angry at first? He was angry because he had told, who had told? Alan Trevor had told the old beggar about his private affairs. Whose private affairs? Huey's private affairs. What was his private affairs? Yes, that he loved the girl named Laura. Okay. He was one of his friend, etc. And why did he feel embarrassed later? Why did Huey feel embarrassed? He felt embarrassed because he had spared a gold coin for the beggar, but the beggar was the richest man in Europe. After knowing the fact that he was the richest man, okay, he felt very sad that he had spared a gold coin to this rich man who posed as a beggar for the painting of Alan Trevor. And children, the next one. What is it? What surprise awaited Huey the next morning? Okay, Alan Trevor has conveyed the message. He has spoken to, who is that? The rich man, one who had posed as a beggar. Okay, Hausberg, Baron Hausberg. And what was the surprise that waited for Huey the next morning? Mr. Gustav Naudin. On behalf of Hausberg, he had come to Huey. And what did he have in his hand? When he came to meet Huey, he had an envelope. Huey was surprised. What is this? An envelope. And inside the envelope was a check for 10,000 pounds. And this was a surprise for Huey. And the next one, children. Read the sentences and answer the questions that follow. Okay, read the sentence. And by the way, you have made a conquest. Who's the speaker here and who is he speaking to? Who tells? By the way, you have made a conquest. Who's the speaker? The speaker is Alan Trevor. And whom is he speaking to? To his friend Huey Erskine. Read the next sub question, children. How had the listener made a conquest and of whom? The listener, Baron Hausberg. Who was the listener there? Baron Hausberg, who knew nothing about Huey. He did not know a thing about Huey Erskine, but he became very anxious to know more about Huey. Is it not? Right, children? And the next question. What does the word conquest mean in this sentence? What does the word conquest mean? Here in this context of the model millionaire, conquest means to become more eager to know about somebody. That is about the speaker. And who is it here? He wanted to know more about Huey. Right? And why? What does it mean here? Because Huey was so generous enough, okay, to give a gold coin to the beggar. And this drew the attention of Huey to Baron Hausberg. Next, children, after comprehending, we have some grammar exercises. Shall we work on that? What is the grammar part we are going to deal with today? Let us look. You have a word happy and there are 3 words, okay? Rather you call them, what do you call them as? A syllable, is it not? Un, in, dis. I want you to check which one goes with happy and gives you a new word. Which one is that? Yes, guessed it right. Happy, unhappy. You're prompting something. Children, are you prompting something? Correct? Happy, unhappy. It's an opposite, right? Look at the next one. Like. And look at the 3 words. Miss, dis and ill. Which one do you think will go with like? Dislike. And what does dislike mean? I dislike that person. I like this book. I dislike the other book, which is too big for me to read. Okay? And what are all these? Prefix, is it? What are prefixes then? Shall we have a look at that? Look here, children. A prefix is an affix. What is this prefix and affix? You know the meaning of fix, right? And what is that affix? Let's see later. A prefix is an affix which is placed before the stem of a word. Okay? And what are these affixes now? Affixes are a group of letters that are added to the beginning or the end of words to make new words. Okay. And I said prefixes. Okay. Affixes are group of words that are added in the beginning. So, if it is added in the beginning, beginning of what? Beginning of a root word. Okay. The prefixes are added in the beginning of the root word. And you have an example here. Look at the example, tidy. Okay. Tidy is the root word. And what is the affix added? It is un. And these two words, un and tidy, look, they come together to make another word, that is untidy. Now, which is a prefix here? That is un. So, what do you mean by prefix, children? Exactly, correct. You add a group of letters or a word, okay, before the root word, before the stem word, right? And you call it as prefix. So, tidy, untidy, you add the prefix un. Children, here are a few prefixes. Look at them. Pre means before, okay, pre-nursery, before nursery, right? Pre-phone, the exam is preponed. What does it mean? You will have it much earlier, it is before. Another prefix is miss. What do you mean by miss? You have heard the word often telling misbehavior. It means to say he is not behaving good in the class. It means to say that he is behaving badly, right? Miss. Re, your teacher asks you, you have not done your work correctly, redo it. So, what does it mean to say? Again, redo, again. So, another prefix is re, and the next one is un. Un. What does un mean? You just now saw happy, unhappy. It means to say not happy, I am not happy. Okay. Unused. It means to say it is unused, it is not used. So, what does un mean? Not. So, these are a few prefixes. What do you mean by prefix, children? A prefix is a group of words or a word added before the root word, the stem word, and it becomes a new word. Okay. And look at the next one, interest. And here are the three words for you. Which one do you think will be more meaningful? Interest, interesting. Okay. Look at the next example, use. And the three words here, ly, ied, ful. Which goes? Full. And what is the word? Useful. Okay. Where are these words added now? Where are these letters added? It is after the word. The previous one was before the word, before the root word, and this is after the root word. Is it not? And you call them as suffix. When it is added after the root word, you call it as suffix. Okay. And here are a few suffixes for you, children. Full. What do you mean by full? Full of. Full of. Right. Useful. It is very useful. Means it is filled. And less. What does less mean? Without. Okay. I am helpless. Help, helpless. I am helpless. I can't help you. Right. And these are few suffixes along with the rest. You will have plenty that next to go. And what are suffixes? That which is added after the root word is called as a suffix. And here are a few suffixes, children. Ed, ing, ly, er, est. These are all added after the root word. You want some examples, is it? Here it goes. Walked, walk, walked. Next, play, playing. Right. Look at the next one. Quick, quickly. Quick is the root word. ly is the suffix. Long, longer, and tall, tallest. And children, I make it clear again. Affixes means group of letters which attach before and after the root word. It can be anywhere, it can be before. If it is before, you call it as prefix, right? And if it is after, it is suffix. Whether it is added before or after, it is affixes. You call it as affixes. And look at the example. Sometimes it can be both a prefix and a suffix. The example there, except is the root word. Okay, the prefix added is un and the suffix added is able. And look at the new word, unacceptable. Unacceptable. Got it, children? So, these are affixes. If this is clear, you have a task here. So, I told you if it is before the word, you call it as prefixes. After the word, you have suffixes. Clear? And you find a tree. You have the root word in the branches, which is the outline is green and also red with a stem. And children, below you have got words. Now, you will have to, yes, match them. Shall we start? And here it goes, teach. What comes? Good, teacher. Next one, put. It is a prefix, it says. What goes? Input. Look at the next one, children. Code. What goes? Good, decode. And the next one, employ. Employment. Next one, stop. You have heard this word, non-stop. And the next is strong. Comparative, superlative degree, strongest. Fine. And mature, what is that? Premature. And children, use. We just now saw a word, useful. And agree, you have come across this. Very good. Disagree. Last, it is left out. So, no other option. Port, portable. You have done it correctly, followed it. So, you understood what is a prefix, suffix. Before the word, before the root word is prefix, after the root word it is suffix. And children, we come to the assignment session. You are supposed to work on your assignment questions. Okay, I hope you will all work on that. And here are the questions, children. Please read the question. Here it goes. What did Alan Trevor tell Huey when he met him at the Pallet Club? Second one, Alan says, he'll invest your sovereign for you, Huey. How do you think the Baron would have invested the sovereign for Huey? That was the twist, right? And the next question, what was the beggar's true identity? Why did Huey mistake him for a beggar? And children, you have 4 alternatives here. Please read and match, choose the correct alternative to complete the sentence. And here are the questions. The first one is, how much money did Huey give the beggar man? Please read the option. Second one is, Baron Hausberg sent a messenger to Huey. Why? Please read the options and choose the correct answer. Children, thank you all. I hope you have understood the lesson. Read the lesson once again and you will work on the assignments as well. Submit to your teacher. And this is Anthony Mary signing off for today. Thank you, children.